We are waiting to join. So as usual, we are going to start with the creating of our instances. So I'm just going to log on to my AWS and we are going to start from there. Can you all see my screen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so let's just start from here again. So at the end of the class, we are just going to go ahead and ask our questions. So the aim is for us to finish this before we are going to finish this before the 2 hours that we have to do this class by God's grace or by work. So we're going to just try to push this and finish this before then. Okay. So I'm using my existing keeper and I'm also going to be using my existing security group. And I have it as Splunk tool. Yeah. So let me change this to 20. All right, I'm going to launch my instances. I'm going to rename them. First off, I'm going to have my CM again. So my indexer 1, indexer 2, indexer 3, and the 3. And here we are going to have our deployer. We're going to have our slash head 1. And here we are going to have our slash head 2. And here we are going to have our slash head 3. All right, so we have this. We can as well start. So this one is going to also be my license manager. So let's just go with it and then save. So I'm just going to open them up. I can even do it with I'm going to log into that. Okay, this is going to be my cluster master, and I should have this here. All right, so let me go in here to my documents. And the first one is going to be my cluster master. Let me just do it straight from here. All right, got this. I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste it. Yep. Okay, so while this is going on, let me also get the second one I have. So the second one, my indexer 1. So again, we are going to be following the processes. SSH-I, Machiki, open, EC2-user, and hit enter. All right, so let me get the one for this one also. This one is going to be my indexer one. So let me copy this just to make it faster and easier. I'm going to delete this, paste it, and I'm going to copy. Copy and paste it. Okay, I have my indexer one running. So while that is running also, let me get my indexer two. So again, these are just the processes we have to follow. Let me just go straight on this way. That's going to make it faster. So indexer 3 loading or 2 loading. So let me go to here, and this is going to be my indexer 2. Going to be my indexer 2. I'm just going to copy that and paste it. So while that is going on, let me get the one for my indexer 3. SSH -I Amarchi key dot pem EC2 -user at okay indexer 3. So let me just go in here and do this at once here. So copy that and paste it. So I'm done with installing my indexers. Let me get my deployer. So let me get my deployer and SSH -I EC2 Okay, so let me paste this. This is going to be my deployer. All right, so I'm pasting this for my deployer, and next I'm getting my search head. I'm getting my search head one, getting the public IP address. I'm going here. Sorry, service to humanity, you are drawing on my screen. That's SSH-I key .pem EC2-user at right. So yeah, this is going to be my sachet one. So let me get in here again, and I'm just going to copy this. Just make it easier. Okay, so again, I'm going to copy this and paste it. That's going to be my sachet one. Now let me get the one for my sachet two. See how fast we can do this today. And SSH-I Amarchi key .pem EC2-user at. Yep. So let me get my search head two, and I'm going to do this here. copy and paste. Now I have my sachet 2. So while that is running, let me get my sachet 3. Let me get my sachet 3. Copy that. All right, SSH dash I gk.pm ec2 dash user at sat. All right, and that is going to be my sachet 3. Sachet 3. All right. Click OK. And we are good. So let me just open this up. So starting from my this one, cluster master is running. Indexer 1 is running. Indexer 2 is running. Indexer 3 for deployer. Sachet 1, sachet 2. Okay, this is still coming up. So what we are going to do today, remember last week when we tried to do this, we tried to create everything from the back end. So today we are going to use another approach. So we are going to be doing both the back end and also the front end, just to help us make it faster one, and also help us to understand and refresh our memory with what we did in the class. So what I'm technically going to do first off, since my search custom master is also my license master, I'm definitely going to log into that. And the very first thing we have to do in the process is to actually create a license master, giving them the license that they need. So I'm going to log in. That is the very first thing we have to remember that. So once you come in, give them the license. Got that? Okay, again, you're going to go to settings. I'm just going to do my server controls and rename it before I give it this license. So global banner, I given this blue, and it's going to be my CM/LM. All right. And I save that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it the license, and I'm going to do that setting coming under license, and I'm going to just come and click add license, choose a file. All right. And I click install. So this license was successfully added. I'm going to restart. Are you sure you want to restart? Okay. So next thing why it's restarting is we can as well go back to the back end and check. So what we just created right now is going to be inside our license folder under etc. So if I come back here now, let me, all right. So I can just do cd opt Splunk etc. So inside my etc, I should have a license folder, which is where which is actually what made this now a license master. So if I should list, sorry, let me clear my screen. If I should do ls, and you see I have my download trial and I have my enterprise. This is actually the license I'm using right now. So I can go ahead and cd into the enterprise, and I go ahead and list it. So I have my Splunk license file here. This is a file already. So I can as well go ahead and cut into that Splunk license. Right? And this is exactly what is contained inside my license. Now, this is the license itself, but also inside of server.gov, we are also going to be seeing something that shows us that, hey, you have created your license. we're going to see something that shows us. So we are going to go into our server.gov now, and we are going to view that. So Splunk, I'm going to my etc system local. Now if I list, I have my global migration readme and server.conf inside here. So let me clear again. And now I can, let me list again. I have my server.conf. So if I go ahead and cut that server.conf, now I have, this is the stanza that was added inside my server.conf because I created this as my license master. All right. So now this is done for the license master. I can as well go ahead and connect other ones to it. Again, I can decide to just do it from the back end. And like I said the last time, all you have to do now is for the indexers, I just have to cd, actually let me clear, cd into opt Splunk etc system local. So if I list here, I should have my server.conf here again, but here now I'm going to vi because I want to edit it. Now if I vi, all I have to do is go back to this. I have a stanza for licensing here. So this is actually what is going to be inside my nodes that I'm pointing to the cluster master, the license master rather. So if I copy this, if I copy it and then come in here, okay, before I even paste it, I would prefer, let me change this straight up here. So this is the IP address of my license master. So I'm going to go inside this and I'm going to delete this. So we have to be very careful and make sure we are taking the right thing. This is my indexer 1. So when I come in here and I paste it and escape, right, I'm saving it. Now if I cut my server.conf, I have my license there linking to the license master, which is also my cluster master right now. So next thing I have to do is to restart this particular instance. Splunk, bin, Splunk, restart. Okay. So while this is going, I can as well do this here also. Let's actually check. Let me open my indexer 1 at the front end here. So we see that what happened. So I'm just going to do this. Just going to paste it here and do 8,000. So let me, as usual, give it the global banner. Admin, welcome, welcome 90. So let me go to my licensing here. So this is for my, okay, first let me give it the name so I don't mistake it for another one. So this one is my indexer 1. So my indexers, I like giving them a green color. So I can just say indexer 1, yeah, and I save it. Now, if I go to my licensing settings and I'm going to my license, now you see, it's saying this server is associated with a remote master license server. Now for the indexer 2, let's do that from the front end so that we also refresh our memory on how to do that and not do that. Okay, this is going to be my indexer 2. Admin welcome 90. All right. So server settings, just to give it the global. This is my indexer 2. 7. So for me to do it from the front end, I have to go to settings, and then I'm going to licensing, and then I'm going to click to change to slave. Now I'm going to click on designate a different Splunk. Sorry. Yeah. All right. So here I'm going to paste the master license server. So I'm just going to come in here again and get the cluster master IP private IP address. And then I paste it, and then I give it the colon 8089 at the end of it, and then I save it. As always, it's going to ask us to restart. Sure. So let me open the third one and do it also from here. So this is just about that. So let's confirm that this one is done. Admin welcome 90. All right, so if we go back to setting and go to our licensing, then it's here also. Yeah, right. So this one is my indexer 3. Let me give it the global. Again, I'm going to give it the green. This is my indexer 3. Settings, licensing, and change to slave. Click on designate a different. Now, again, let me see, I think the copying should still work. No. All right, so let me get this again. And paste that, and then add.
That's public address, so that's public.
Sir?
You have public address there.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. $80.89. So those are the things we need to really watch out for. If not, now this one would have given me an issue right now. Okay, so we have our our licenses is on our indexer. So the next one we have is going to be our deployer. So I can as well go to my, actually, let me do this one again from the back end. And on the deployer again, what I need is just to copy this. Please always confirm that this is the IP address of your license master. So let me go to my deployer. This should be my deployer. So I'm going to clear. And now in my deployer, all I have to do is do cd opt Splunk. And I'm heading to the etc. I'm going to my system. I'm going to the local. And here in my local, I should have my server.gov, which I will need to VI into it. And then when I VI into it, I'm just going to come in and paste that same thing I copied. So I can as well confirm that this is 3120 is the IP at 3120, yes, of my license master. So I can come here, escape, WQ, WQ,
Hit escape, hit escape, hit escape.
yes, sir, I'm hitting escape.
Just hit and escape.
Hitting escape, yes, sir.
If then escape,
Yeah,
because that thing is going to be inserted in there, just come out and go back in.
okay, let me do
Yeah.
that without saving.
There you go.
Okay, all right, so I can escape now, and WQ can save now, and then come out. Now let me cut that to make sure everything is okay. Yeah, so my license is this, is here in my deployer. So let me go ahead and clear. Next thing I have to do is to restart my system, Splunk, bin, Splunk again, and restart. So my deployer should have its own license now. I can as well go ahead and do the same thing here, since on my OPT cd/opt Splunk is there. Move here into my server.conf, and then I'm going to go ahead and okay. So next thing I have to do here, you can cut it just to confirm that everything is fine.
God
Right.
bless.
So I can go ahead and clear. Next thing to do is just to restart this particular instance. Restarting in bin and restart. So this is my sachet one, and my deployer. Let's just confirm something. Okay, so let's just go to the front end of our deployer and check it out, and then complete the other ones here. So let's do that. So first I have to check my deployer to make sure it has the license. Right, let me log in here, admin, welcome Nancy. So next, first thing here, let me set my deployer global banner. So for the deployer, I like using this. So let me just deployer, this is my deployer, and I'll set that. Next, I'm going to go check that the licensing I gave it at the back end is actually here. Yeah, so you see, and this is the IP address of the license master. So let me check that of my sachet one, copy my and paste 8,000 and hit enter. Okay, so while that is coming up, let me just admin, well, welcome 90. Check. Okay. Global banner, this should be my sachet one. So my sachet, let me give it sachet one. So we can check licensing to make sure it's here. Yeah, it's here. So the other remaining two, let's just go ahead and do them from the front end here. And any of them can always work out. Just the one we are most comfortable doing. So admin, welcome 90. Oh, this is my sachet too. So let me give it this. Banner. Again, red sachet too. Okay, so the licensing is the next thing here. Change to slave and this. I'm going to come back here, copy that of the cluster master, the private IP of the cluster master, come in here, paste it, and add 8089, which is the management port. I go ahead and save it and restart. Okay, so while this is restarting, let me do that of the last sachet. So copy, paste it, 8,000. All right, so I'm having my admin welcome 90. Never mention this again, so let me set this up. Server settings, global banner. So now here I'm going to give it to red again, and this is my sachet 3. I save. So let's confirm that this is there. Welcome 90. Okay. So next thing is I'm going to give it the licensing again and click to change to slave and get the IP address again. Private IP. Now paste it and add your 8089 there and go ahead and save that. Right, so this one is here. All right, for this last one, we can go ahead and check. Remember, you can always verify that this is taking place at the back end. So for here now, I can just, for me to verify, can somebody just help us with the paths to follow? Anybody with it? How do I verify that my licensing has been added to my sachet? Anybody? Anybody helping me?
System local.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to my system and I'm going to my local. So next thing I list and I can cut my server. I can cut my server.gov. Right here now, you will see the same stanza I put in here for my indexers is still the same thing that took place or was registered when I do it from my front end. So the same thing happens. So I need us to always remember what will happen whenever we do one thing at the front end or the back end. So here, clear. So now we've added licensing for all of them. Now, next thing is for us to start our clustering. And as always, I can decide to do this from the front end. I'll do this from the back end. And like the last week, I told us if you want to do this at the back end, all you have to do is for the clustering, the cluster master, we have this. This is the stanza that makes it a cluster master. This particular stanza makes it so. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go do this at the front end, and then we'll check the back end. We'll see that this same thing is what we'll have there. Easily enough, you can just copy this and paste it in your server.conf, and it will actually create it. Sorry, this is the stanza for the cluster master itself. So let's do this from the front end, and then we'll see that this same thing will be what will be on our server.conf with mode equals to master. So let's go ahead and do that from the front end today. Let's do that from the front end today. So on the front end, this is going to be my cluster master admin. Welcome 90. Sign in. For me to set it up here, all I have to go is go to my indexer clustering. But if I want to do it from the back end, I have to go into my server.conf, my etc system local server.conf. Now I click on enable indexer discovery and clustering, and I'm going to make this the master node. I'm going to click next. It's going to tell me, oh, what do you want? So now I'm going to just change it by default. From the default is usually 3. Now I'm changing it from the default to 2. My security key, I will name it Splunk. Yeah, I think that's fine. My cluster level, let's giving them dev. So it's easy for me to remember. So I'm just going to go ahead and click enable master node. And I'm restarting it now. So why this is restarting? I can always go and check the back end. Let's see what's going on in the back end here. So like I said, if I had wanted to do it from the back end here, all I have to do is go to my opt Splunk etc system local, and then when I list what is here, I will have my server.conf, and if I cut my server.conf now, let's see if that you see. Now my clustering is added, the same thing that we have here. So I could have copied this, and pasted it inside this particular place, restart the system, it will still take place in the front end. Now, so everything is okay here. This has been configured to be my cluster master. The next thing is to link my indexers to it. That is the next thing to do. Now I can decide to do this from the front end, or I can decide to do this from the back end. Let's see. Okay, let me do this from the back end. So I'm going to clear, so we get to see this. Again, I'm going to cd into my opt Splunk etc system, and I'm going into my local. So when I list, I have my server.conf. Now I'm going to vi into my server.conf, and I have my license here. So I'm just going to what I'm going to do now. This particular stanza is what will be inside the server.conf of my individual indexers. So what I have to do is, so this is the replication port, which is 8080. Now the master URI here will be the IP address of the cluster master. The mode will be slave, and the password sync key is still going to be Splunk, because that's the same thing I used when I created the one in the cluster master. So let me get the IP address of the cluster master. So let me come here, IP address of the private IP address, please. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to edit this, insert. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this and paste it inside here. I'm going to paste it inside here. And next I'm going to escape and double Q. I save it. And now if I cut the same server.conf, we'll see that everything is here now. So next thing, after everything we are setting, we should always remember to restart our instance. So bin Splunk restart. It should work fine. Now I can decide to, let me do it again, seed into /opt/splunk /etc/system/local. And if I list, I have my server.conf here. I can go ahead and VI into my server.conf. And the same thing I pasted on the other one is what I need to also put in here. All right, since both of them are the same thing, okay. I'm going to escape and hold on WQ just to save it. I can as well go ahead and cut into it. And we have it here. Let me clear and restart my system. opt Splunk bin Splunk, then restart. Okay, we are good. So while this is restarting, let me do this from the front end and see what happens to the back end for the third indexer. So let me come back here. This should be my this should be my third indexer, admin, and welcome mindset. So if I want to do this from the front end, technically what I have to do is I go to my settings, go to my indexer clustering, and I'm going to enable indexer clustering. But now instead of choosing master, I'm going to be using peer. And when I do next, it's going to ask me for the master URI. I'm just going to come here and copy this IP address, private one, and drop it here. And then put the :8089. Peer replication port is 8080. The same security key I put in my cluster master, which is Splunk, that's the same thing. And I just click enable peer node. It says restart. Now I'm restarting it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the back end and let's see what, if it's the same configuration, this same configuration that we'll have inside of it. So let's take note of that. So I'm going to go to this. This is my indexer 3, clear. And I'm going to CD the same place. Or actually, instead of CD, let me just cut it straight so that we'll say it. opt Splunk etc system local. Now inside the local, I'm going to my server.conf. Now this is what we have here. Replication port is 8089, clustering the master URI, mode is equal to slave, password same key, which is that Splunk I put in here in the other one has now been hashed to be this. So if you go back here, you see that is actually the same thing. If I should cut into this now, actually, let's do that. Let me recall my command. You see now it's also hashed. So everything here is the same here. So now for us to verify if this clustering has been done properly, we can go to the front end. We can go to the front end of our cluster master and confirm that. So let's check. All right, so we have our three meds. So our three indexers are here. So everything is fine now for the indexers. Next thing we are going to do, I want us to complete everything on the clustering before we go into the deployer. So having configured the indexers to it, you also need to connect sash heads to it. I remember the last time we did it through the deployer, but today let's just go ahead and do it so that we actually don't get confused with it. Now, so for the sash heads, for me to connect the sash heads, technically, let me do one from the front end here. This is my deployer. So this should mean my sash head 1. Now, for me to do this, for me to connect this to my cluster master, I have to go to my settings, the same indexer clustering. And then I have to enable indexer clustering. But now I'm neither going to use the master or peer. I'm going to use the sash head to say, okay, this is actually a sash head node. I'm going to click next. It's asking me for the same master URI. I'm going to come here, collect the IP address of the cluster master, come in to my sash head and paste it. And again, I'm going to complete 8089. My security key again is Splunk, and I'm going to enable sash head. So it's saying you must restart. Now I'm going to restart it. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to the back end, check what is inside my sash head. This is a particular sash head, so let me clear. Let me do pwd. Now I'm still inside my local. So let me do ls. So next I have to cut my server.conf. Now this is my clustering. See, this is my clustering. That means it has been linked to my cluster master. But now the mode here is going to be sash head. So I can as well say, okay, let me copy this. Let me copy this and paste them. Let me copy this and just go ahead and paste them on the sachet 2 and sachet 3 instead of. So where do I have to go again? I have to cd into my OPT Splunk. I'm going into my etc system local, but I've even done VI. Okay. Now I'm inside my local. If I do pwd, I'm inside my local. I can go ahead and do ls-la, and next I have to do is vi into my server.conf, which is editing my server.conf. I go edit it. I have my license master, license configuration here. So next thing I want to add is I want to add insert. Okay, I think that didn't copy well. Let's try again and see. That was my sachet 1. Okay, let's copy this again. This is just the stanza we need. And let's see if that will paste now. All right. Now for the password SIM key, see, I can just go ahead and delete this and call it Splunk. Now let me copy this because I will need it for the third one also. So remember that the master URI here.
If you didn't change this, if you left it the way it was, would it work?
I always like to change it. I know it's hashed already, but I always like to change it so that it will hash again. So I make sure that everything is fine. I always hash it anytime I'm working on it. I always change it. So next I'm going to save it. And like I say, we have to always restart. OPT Splunk bin Splunk restart. So while this is restarting, let me go to my third one. Now let me just go ahead and VI straight into OPT Splunk. I'm going into my etc I'm going into my system. I'm going into my local. Now inside my local, I want to edit my server.conf. All right, here I have it. I'm going to do, now I'm going to paste what I copied. See, again, it's hashed, even though I copied it, but still I love changing it. I just love changing it just for me to be sure of what I have. So I go ahead and paste it, escape, and save it. Again, what I need to do next is restart this system. OPT, Splunk, bin, Splunk, and restart. Right, so we have it. Our sachet 2. So here now, if I again cut, so yeah, we have this just like we have it here. And I believe this third one is coming up. So this third one here, if I go ahead and recall my command with the up arrow key and do Control A, let me cut into that and let's see. All right, again, we have this. So next thing, we can go ahead and verify in the front end if our clustering is done. So this is my cluster master again. I go ahead and see my sachet 1, 2, 3 is done. So I believe right now everything about my clustering is okay. Now, but before I leave this clustering and go into my, okay, actually we are done with our clustering now. So let's go to our deployer. So as we know, the same work the cluster master does for the indexers is the same work that the deployer does for my search head. And now, there's something that makes the deployer a deployer first. Now, let's check our, and like we saw from our PDF, this can only be done from the, this can only be done from the back end of your deployer. And this is exactly what you need. You see, this is exactly what you need to make your deployer a deployer. Just this. So SH clustering is the name of the sensor. The SH cluster label, which is the name of the label that you'll be using to recognize the list of the sachets that is in this deployer. And again, we have our passport sync key. So I'm just going to copy this. Remember, this is also going into the server.conf of your deployer. So let me go ahead inside my deployer. Again, I cd into OPT Splunk, and I'm going into my etc, and I'm going into my system. I'm going into my local, and pwd, I'm already inside my local list. And next thing, I'm editing my server.conf. Now I'm going to come in here, just below my license, and paste what I copied. So I still want to leave it like this. Okay, next thing, escape, WQ. Now this particular place now is automatically my deployer. So next thing I have to do, I can as well cut it to see, verify that it's there. Yeah, it's there. So what I have to do is, let me clear, and I restart. To restart again, OPT Splunk, bin, Splunk, and restart. Okay, now this is my deployer. Next thing, we have to connect our search heads to the deployer. We've connected our search head to the cluster, and now we are going to connect our search heads to the deployer so that the deployer can be able to sell any configuration files and all apps to the search head. All right. Okay, let me go ahead and clear. Now my deployer is now my deployer. So I'm going to go back to my documentation here. What is the next thing? Now, this is my deployer. Next thing to do is configure the sachet to the deployer with, we can use this particular CLI command is going to connect the deployer, the sachet to the deployer. And this is Splunk init, some SH cluster config, now admin, and then here will be welcome 90, which is my password to log in, welcome 90. The management URI is the IP address of each of the sachet I am working on. So for this first sachet, I'm just going to go and get the sachet one. Let me get the sachet one. So let me get the sachet one. Let me get the sachet one private IP address. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to go back to that place and I'm going to edit it. Edit this. And now I paste the IP address I just copied. So remember, the management URI is the IP address of the particular sachet. Now replication port is 8090. And remember, you have to make sure that this is opened on your security, in your AWS. Now the next thing is my replication factor. Of course, my replication factor is 2. If it is 3, please remember to also put this as 3. Now dash conf underscore deploy underscore fetch is going to be the IP address of my deployer. So let me come back and pick that up. Let me go back and pick that up. IP address of my deployer. So I'm just going to copy this and go back to my documentation and I'm going to edit that. All right, I'm going to paste it. The next thing we have is the secret key, which as always is Splunk. Remember, this secret key has to be the same thing that you have in your SH clustering. See, here is Splunk, so it must be Splunk there. Now I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to go to my sachet one. That is where I am right now. This is my sachet one. And being a CLI command, I have to go into my bin to do that. If I don't want to go into the bin, I can just do /opt/splunk, but let's just go into the bin /opt/splunk/bin kits. So what am I? PWD. I'm inside the bin right now. Now I can go ahead and paste that command that I copied. So all these things are the parameters. So if I click OK, all right, this is done. So let me restart the server. Since I'm already inside the bin, I can just do ./splunk restart. So restart it. All right, this is going. Now for the sachet, again, let me point out something for us. This, what I just pasted, is going to go into the same server.conf we've been working on since and create this same thing there. So if I don't want to use the method I just used right now, I could as well copy this and paste it inside the server.conf. Actually, let's try that on one. So now my sachet one is okay. So let me clear so we see that. So I'm going to cd let me cut it straight. OPT Splunk. I'm going to the etc folder. From there, I'm going into the system folder, going into the local folder, and inside the server conf, I'm going inside my server.conf. Now you see what I'm talking about. So this that CLI command created this inside here. You see it? So for me to do it better, I can decide, oh, okay, why not let me copy this whole thing and use it on my sachet too. But remember, the management URI will be changed because it's going to be the management URI of the IP address of the current sachets you are working on. So I'm inside my local already, pwd. So I can decide to VI into my server.conf. And then beneath my clustering again, beneath my clustering, I can paste that. Now I'm on my sachet too. So let me go and get the IP address of my sachet too. Sachet 2, the IP address, which is the private IP address of my sachet 2. All right, so I'm going to come inside here. I'm only going to be changing the management URI here. So I'm going to, all right, let me just, okay. So this is not inserting, that is another thing. So let me go ahead and paste it. So I can, let me see if I can do it from here. Let me just go back. Insert mode. So let me see if I can paste it from here. Oh no, no. All right, so what do I do? Let me just come. All right, so let me change the IP address here directly. Let me change the IP address here directly so I can be able, so I don't want to cram it, so I don't make mistake. So let me go back here. Remember, I'm only changing the management URI. So I am going to delete this and paste what I copied. So it ends with 209. Let me confirm if I got it right. Yes, so sachet 2 IP address private. So let me go back here. Again, just for security or for just assurance, I always like to change my Splunk for SIM key, and I want to keep it Splunk, the same thing I gave the stash head. And I believe that is all I need to change. Replication factor remains so. My sachet cluster label is dev test, which is the same thing I gave in my sachet clustering. So now I can go ahead, copy this now, and go back here. So what I'm going to do, let me just go ahead and escape and delete the whole thing. All right, so let me go back and paste 209. Yes, I believe everything is fine. So now I can go ahead and escape and save this. Now my clustering is done for my, let me cut that. So it's fine. And the next thing I have to do is restart again. Restart OPT Splunk, OPT Splunk bin, Splunk restart. For this third one, let me just go ahead again and use the CLI. So what I'm going to do is get the IP address of my sachet 3. And on this, I'm just going to come here, this particular management here, right? That's the only thing I need to change here. And I will delete this and paste this. And copy and come in here. Now I'm working on my sachet 3, and I can just go ahead and remember again, I have to CD into my OPT, Splunk, and bin to be able to execute this CLI command. And please, let's confirm 163. It's always very good. If not, it might start throwing you the error of the sash captain. So we have 163 here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, I want you to go ahead. Sachet clustering has been initiated on this node. You need to restart. Again, I will restart. OPT, Splunk, bin, slash, Splunk. Just always remember this. Start. Right. Sorry, you're already inside the bin. So let me just go ahead and do slash Splunk restart. Right, we are good. So I believe right now I cut again here. This is okay. If I come back here and say, okay, I want to cut. Okay, so for here now, let me just go ahead and cut my server.gov to etc. I'm going into my system. I'm going into my locals, and then I'm checking out my server.gov. Now again, the same thing is what we have in here. So this is this means that our sachet has been clustered with our deployer. So what is the next thing we need to do outside here? See, the third one and the fourth one is configure the sachet to communicate, okay, we've done this already. And apart from, you can use this particular command to do the same thing. Remember when we had to go to the front end and then we said search node pair, you can execute this command on the CLI to create the same stanza, which is going to be this. Now, the fifth thing we need to do is selecting a captain. So this, I am going to copy this and paste it on any of the search heads, but we have to have the list of my search head IP addresses here. You can see. So what I have to do is I'm going to go get them one after the other. First, I get my sachet 1. I get my sachet 1. So I'm going to come here and say, okay, I want to delete this one. And I paste that of my sachet 1. Let me get that of sachet 2 also. For sachet 2. I'm going to change this place for sachet 2. And next, I'm going to change the one for sachet 3. This is 209. I'm going to change the one for sachet 3, 163. Sachet 3. All right, so I'm sorry about that. So let me just go ahead and edit this one for sachet 3. And my auth, just authentication, admin, and welcome 90. So what I'm going to do is copy this, and I'm going to copy this and paste it on any sachet of my choice. So where am I? Let me see. I might want my sachet one. Yeah, already I'm inside the bin. pwd. So this particular command will be executed inside the bin. So let me go ahead and paste it. Successfully bootstrapped this node as the captain with the given servers. All right. So next thing we have to do is we have to check the sachet clustering using this command, just the sh cluster show or the show sh cluster. So I can just copy this and paste it. All right, so my sachet has been configured all together. So that is that about the sachet clustering. Again, I want to say something right now. Remember, we have done the licensing, we have done the clustering, both the indexers and the sachet. Now, the next thing in line to do after this is make sure that your output.conf is being pushed to the indexers. Please give me 1 minute.
Sorry, please, where this thing, does it create any stanza? And where can we verify the stanza? This bootstrapping, the bootstrapping you did, you did it on the command line. Does it create a stanza, and where can we verify it?
Okay, I have not really checked that, but we can always go ahead and check what happens when we do that. But the major thing is for us to know, oh, that this, but let's see if it created anything maybe in the server.conf. And I'm going into my etc. I'm going into my system. I'm going into the local. So if I list everything here, global banner migration readme and server. Okay, let me see what is collection. What is inside my collection? And what is inside my server now? I guess it's still the same thing we have before that we have again. We just added, I think it's the thing that added this. I think it's added this, the sachet close, oh, sorry, the ID. I don't think this was here before. I don't think that was there before. Yeah, you can see it wasn't here before, but let me recall my command and see if it has been see. ID is added, and I think it's going to be the same ID now, recognizing them as one. You see, 90df, 90df. So if I check the last one again, yeah, of course it's going to be. So that is what happens. So the bootstrapping, making them. So technically, this is what is added when you did the bootstrapping. Please 1 minute, please. All right, sorry about that. So, Mr. Joseph, does that answer your question?
It wasn't Mr. Joseph, it was me. Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yeah, Amarashi.
The same voice. All right, so let's now we've done, like I was trying to explain before. Once you are done with everything here, the next thing you have to consider is doing your output.conf.
Amara?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to add to what you were saying, I think when we do the bootstrapping, the easiest way to confirm if what we've done is okay is just to do the show sachet cluster status, and that will, that gives us the full details of the sachet and if they are clustered and who the captain is and all of those things.
Yes, sir. And we did that already. And
yeah, I know. I'm just saying, just to like.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
That's another way for us to know what we ran worked or not.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Thank you. All right, so the next thing we have to do is we have to create output.conf. Once we are done with what we are doing right now, that is the next thing to do in this place. Now, your cluster master, we have output.conf. Your deployer, we have output.conf. Your sachets, we have output.conf, but your indexers won't have that because it's going to the indexers itself. So the output.conf also will be created inside here. So here that we have server.conf, I can go ahead and create my output.conf. So let's see the stanza. And I think that makes sense. All right, so let's get our server. Let's get our output.conf, how it looks. So I have my stanza here. So on the sachet deployer, this is how it will be. So technically, this is what we need to put inside our output.conf. So I'm just going to copy this. But remember, we have to change the server. This here should be the IP address of the indexers because that is where it's pushing it to. So quickly, let me get the IP address of the indexers. And that is going to be ID1. So let me get that. Yeah, I'm going to delete this. And I'm going to insert it, 119. I'm going to get the second one. I'm going to get the second one, which is 222. All right. Paste that. I'm going to delete starting from here. 222. And I'm going to go to the last one and get the ID, which is 175. All right. I'm going to come here. Notice how what we have here is 9997, which is the receiving port. And you can actually, yeah, we keep it at 997, but the thing is you can actually decide to create your own, and whatever number you're giving here, actually, let's leave it at that 9997. So let's not confuse ourselves. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to create an output.conf inside my local. On both the sachet, on both the deployer and the customer master. So let me do that. I'm already inside the local. So what I'm going to do is vi output. This spelling is very, very, very crucial. If you put output without S, it's not going to work. So I'm going to paste that and say, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm escaping, WQ, save. Again, remember to restart.
Amarake, I have a question, please.
So please, can we keep the questions so that at the end of the class, we just ask the questions?
It's okay.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right, I thought I did that. Okay, let me just /opt just to restart. Splunk. I'm going to my bin. Sorry, to restart is bin. I'm going to my Splunk. I'm going to restart it. All right. This same thing, I'm going to go to my deployer. I'm already inside my local PWD, the same place, OPT Splunk etc system local. If I list, I have output.conf here, so I need to create my output.conf. vi outputs.conf. Very important. Again, I'm going to paste it, the same thing, okay? All right, I'm going to escape, WQ, and save it. And I can decide to cut, is there. Since I'm inside the local, I can list. Now I have my output.conf. And let me clear. Next thing to do is restart. OPT Splunk bin Splunk, then restart. All right. Now I'm restarting my deployer. Now for the sachets, I can say, okay, let me come in here, create them one after the other, still in the same directory, which is the same place I created this one, which is going to be my OPT, Splunk, etc, system local. I can decide to come in here and create it. But then because we have a deployer, that is basically the work of the deployer. So the deployer is now meant to create this and push it to the sachets. That is the work. So, but the question is, where do I create it in the deployer? I will not create it here. It's already here inside for the deployer. It's already inside the server.conf of the deployer. Now, for me to push it to the sachet, it has to be on another place. Now, I'm going to cd opt Splunk. I'm going to my etc. I'm going to my, actually, when you get to your etc, we have something known as sachet cluster. That is where it will now be. If I go ahead and list, see we have apps and users. So what we are creating is going to be inside the apps. So what I need to do is just for us to always remember what we can do, or the absolute part, I can just cd into the apps. Now I am inside the apps already. Now if I list inside the apps, I have nothing there. Now what I want to create is called output.conf. So first what I have to do is make a directory that will house that output.conf. I can call it outputs underscore app. Remember, this is a directory. Next, I have to cd into that directory. And now when I got into this directory, of course, nothing is inside it. I have to now create another directory known as local. I have to create another directory known as local, and then I'm cding into that local. Now I'm inside the local pwd. This is my current path. Now, once I get in here, now I can confidently create my outputs.conf. And again, I'm pasting the same thing. And now I'm going to copy this again and paste it in there. I'm going to paste it in here again, the same thing. Escape, because all of them are meant to be sending their logs to the indexers, but the indexers don't need to send theirs to anywhere. They are the receiving ones because they are the ones saving it for every other node. Now, next thing I have to do is I might as well deploy. I've created it now where inside my sachet cluster apps, output, and local, that is inside my deployer. Next thing I have to do is to push this to the sachet. And for me to push it, this is basically the command I have to run. Now, but this target we have to be, because the sachets are already joined together by the cluster, I have to get any of the private IP address of the sachet, any of them, and then go back and change this here and change this and paste it. Now I can go ahead and run this. I can go ahead and run this after I must have cd'd into the bin, or if I don't want to cd into the bin, I can go ahead and just where I am seated at the moment, I can do /opt/splunk/bin/splunk again, and then space, and then I copy just this apply Splunk cluster bundle target. That is if I don't want to cd, if I want to use the absolute path to do this, I can just come in here and paste it, and that should do the work. So warning, yeah, I'm just going to accept that. All right, bundle has been pushed successfully to all the cluster members. So that is that for that. If I like, I can go ahead. I don't think it does much, but just for doing sake, I can just go ahead and restart it. But now if I go into my server, into my sachets, if I check here now, I won't see the output.conf I created, but it has been pushed to this place. For me to check it, I have to go again into another different directory, which is cd/opt/splunk, and I'm going into etc. When you get into the etc, you are going into the apps. If I list, now, remember, when I created it as a directory and I named it output_apps. So if I should cd into outputs_apps, and let me clear. ls-la. So I have my, okay, cd inside my default, ls-la. See the output.conf I just created. So if I cut it, see the same thing is in here, meaning that these sachets are also pushing their individual logs to the indexers. So we can as well go and check it on one of the sachets and make sure that they are all seeing each other. So let's go back here and let me open any of my sachet. Admin. Welcome 90. Okay. So let me just check the status and see what's going on. It's running. So why is it telling me? Let me just restart it. Start. Okay, let's just go ahead and try again. Okay, it's restarting anyway, but admin. Let's check this out. Right, so let's go ahead and try to run our search and see if it's going to pick them up. It should be able to. If index is equal to, so let's just search for underscore internal and see what we have here. We have our sachet and indexes. So our cluster master and our deployer should also be pushing. And cluster master and the deployer should also be pushing. We should be able to. Our sachet, our deployer and our cluster master should also be pushing theirs, or they also have the index, the output.conf. Let's see, and we're ready, PWD. So if I should cut my server.conf, I'm sorry, my output. Okay. So everything should be fine. Everything should be fine. So I don't, okay. Um,
There's some error somewhere.
so what could it be? Let me see. The fourth group is dev. Yeah, it is. Forward index dot filter dot disable is equal to true. Index on forward is equal to false. TCP out. Oh, this should have been dev.
I think that is the problem.
Yeah, that should be dev. All right, so let me just quickly correct that and VI outputs. Okay, so yeah, so this is practically why we should be always careful of what we are copying and pasting. Okay, so let me do this. This should be dev. Oh no, so now I have to go back and correct all of them. Index and forward index equals to first TCP out, default group dev. All right, okay. I'm escaping, double kill, save, and restart. OPT slash Splunk slash bin slash Splunk, and then restart. Okay, so let me quickly do that again for the cluster master. Right, that should do it. Save. So next thing is for me to restart my. So I've done that. So let me go back. So yeah, my. Okay, so that means I've done this for the I've done this already for my, so let me push it again. What I just did, what I did is should be for the sash head. So let me go ahead and push it out again. Why? So okay, now I can go ahead. Let me cd into slash opt slash Splunk, and I'm going into the etc. I'm going into the system. I'm going into the local again here. And then I'm VIing into outputs. And I should change this one to dev. All right, escape, double kill. And I'm going to restart it. Slash opt slash Splunk slash bin slash Splunk again slash restart. Okay, so let's quickly check what we have here. So let me recall my command and see if anything changed. Where am I? PWD. Okay, list. Okay, I think it's still pushing at this moment. Let's check. Okay. ls-la. Oh, wow. So this is another thing. I think we should have removed this one first before we pushed. We should have removed it before we pushed it out again, because right now is keeping the old one and is also keeping the new one. So if I CD now into the new one, which is going to be the default alone, and I go ahead and list. I have my cut outputs. So please, yeah, we have our dev here. So please, if we encounter something like this, we should always remember to remove it. When we remove it, we push it first before adding it back. But let's verify if it's going to stop anything from working. So I think let's check now again. See if it's going to say it. Should be able. So what's still going on? What's going on? What's going on? I think everything should be fine now. So let me go back to my cluster master. Should be able to see it now. First, I want to cut my server. Let me confirm. Yeah, my cluster label is dev. So now let me cut clear and cut my outputs. Yeah, index and forward. Index is equal to false, TCP out. Default group is equal to dev equal to true. I think everything is fine here. Everything should be fine. Okay, yeah, that reminds me. We have one very other important thing that we haven't done. Yeah, so we haven't actually opened up our indexers to receive this. We've not opened our 997, we've sent it out, but we've not opened it. So whenever you, after creating your output, the next thing to do is go and open your indexers to receive it. Okay, this is my cluster master, admin, welcome 90. All right, so technically I have to come in here. This should be my indexer. Yes, so I'm going to go to my settings. You see forwarding and receiving, I've not configured that. So let's go to configure receiving. So once you finish doing your output.conf, then you have to do your listening port. So 9997 is what it should listen to. I'm saving it. I can go ahead and restart it. Server control. Restart. So I can just go ahead and do it in 3 of them. You can go ahead and restart the 3 of them. But remember, this is also going to be creating an input.conf. It should be creating an input.conf on the server, on the indexers. It should be able to, actually, let's even check that out if it was created. So this is my first indexer, and I clear ls-la. Now it should create an input.conf here. So let's see. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, let me log in back, log out again. Okay, log in back, and I have to take it off and try doing it from the back end. Wait, I thought I just did this. Okay, so I can go ahead and delete it. I want it to show at the back end because I always have this belief that, oh, the back end controls the front end. So I always like it showing at the back end, and I don't know why currently it's not showing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it. I'm going to delete it from the front end, and let's see. But this is exactly how you create it. If you are doing this, please, you can as well try to do it from here. So, but we also, I think we had this, we did this the last time, and we were able to get the, okay, this should be what it should be. Now, this should be the IP address of each of the indexers. So let me go again. This is my search indexer 1. So let me get the IP address of my indexer 1. This is it. It should be the host. So I'm just going to delete this. And 119, I'm going to create it. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come in here in my local, where my PWD, I'm inside the local. I'm just going to VI into inputs.conf, and then hit enter, and then paste what I copied. When I paste it, I hit exclamation and come out. I can cut it just to see it. And next thing I can do is restart it. /opt/splunk /etc bin /splunk start splunk restart. Okay, I'll do this again for the second one. I'm going to clear. Now for the second one also, I'm going to change the IP address of the second one. So let's do this. Copy this and go to the what I have here, and I'm going to change this. At least I should have given it a space actually. Makes sense. So this should be the IP address of my second indexers. Where am I? PWD. Yeah, I'm indexer 2. So let me VI into my inputs again, .gov. Again, I'm going to paste this in here and escape WQ. Hit enter, and I'm going to restart. Just come on, all right, thank you. So I'm going to do the same thing on my indexer 3. Clear, where am I? PWD. All right, I'm at home of Splunk. So let me just go cd opt/splunk /etc/system local. Yeah, now PWD. Now I can VI into inputs.conf. All right, for this third one, I'm also going to change the IP address of my indexer. Remember, you can choose to do this from the front end. You can choose to do this from the front end. Also, just following what I did before, you should be able to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Again, I'm going to come in here. Yeah, the last week we did it from this cluster master. If you notice, what we are pasting is each of the indexers, the IP address. So the last time we did it from the cluster master, if you remember, but from what Mr. O told us yesterday, it worked. Actually, even last week it worked. But when he got to the monitoring console, he was not seeing the individual indexers to add to the monitoring console. So he figured out that it might be because we did host equal to asterisk last week. So we can still explore that out and see if there's a way to bypass and make sure the monitoring console can pick that. But as of now, I just said, okay, let's just do it the normal way. But yeah, last week we did it from the cluster master. So cat inputs. Now we are good here. So the next thing is to restart. And okay, let me restart. And yes. All right. So let me just for doing sake, let me just I want to just give a space between this one. So just give a space there. And then let me restart it. So now I can go to my front end and verify if they are there. Now, this should be my cluster master. This one is restarting. So let's check for this one. Admin and welcome 90. All right, so for us to check this one out, we have to again come to forwarding and receiving and configure receiving. And yes, so what we did at the back end is showing here. So if I check this one also, admin, welcome 90, welcome 90. Right, so let's check this one out. Admin, welcome 90. So if I go here and check my forwarding and receiving, configure receiving is there 997. If I check this one also is there. So on 3 of them now I have it again. So I believe now this should be able to work fine. So let's try again. If there's no other mistake, it should be able to work very fine now. All right. So we are good. We have our deployer, we have our cluster master, we have our indexers, and we have our search heads. So all of them are now showing right now. So I guess we are good. Okay. Okay, so that is that about that. Very important. So after your output, remember to configure your input. So I think we are done with this right now. So just for doing sake, wait, what's the second? Let's quickly configure our deployment servers. Again, I'm going to create, I should have even just done this before. So I'm just going to create this one, and I just want to keep right. So sorry, I'm going to create my deployment underscore server. All right. I'm going to use the same key pair, and I'm going to use my security group, which is here. I'm going to change this to 20, and I guess I'm good. I'm launching it. View it. Oh, sorry. All right, so this is my deployment server. Yeah, so I'm going to launch 3 more instances because I want to create my universal forwarder. So I want to see if we can be able to create and push out those logs. Amarachi key pair. I'm going to do my existing key. I'm leaving it at 8 because it's lightweight, like we all know. So that's all for that. I'm going to launch my instances and then I'm going to edit them. I'm going to edit it. This is going to be my UF1. This is going to be my UF2. This is going to be my UF3. Yeah, so I'm just going to have 3 UFs. And for the start, I'm going to install my deployment server. And just like we know, our deployment server is still just going to be a normal instance, just like the other Splunk. I should have done them together actually. So let me copy the public IP address to open this up. And I'm going to come here, SSH-I Amarachiki .pem EC2-user at inserts. Okay, should be good. All right, so while this is coming up, let me get the scripts, the same script, the same one. So this is going to be my deploy server. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to change this to this. All right. I'm going to copy this from my sudo since I haven't done my sudo root, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it. We are good. So while this is coming up, let me go ahead and open up my search heads, my universal forwarders rather. So my UF1, copy that and go to my, go here. And again, SSH-I marachiki.pem EC2-user at paste. All right. Now I'm going to go. Now, of course, we know the universal folder has a different script. Now, because this is my universal folder 1, so let me change this to 1. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this, copy, and I'm going to come here. And I'm going to paste that. That should be fine. That should be fine. That should be fine. All right. So while this is coming up, it won't even take time. That's because it's lightweight. So let me get the IP address of the parser folder 2 and do the same thing. Public IP, and I'm going to log in. Plus SSH-I marachiki.pem EC2-user. That's okay. So let me quickly get the script for my universal folder. This is my universal folder 2. Copy that. Copy that. All right, and paste, lightweight, done. As usual, before I get to where I'm going to. All right, so let me get the one for the third one and we should be done. I'm going to go back and open SSH-I marachiki.pem EC2-user at insert. All right, let me get the one for the third one. So it's just for me to change this script to 3 and copy that and paste. All right, we are good. And just a gentle reminder, please, universal folder doesn't have a GUI, it doesn't have a front end, it doesn't go to the Splunk web. So even assuming is in the, say in a workplace, this doesn't need the security 8000. Remember how all these ones need the security 8000, this doesn't need it because it doesn't go to the front end like this. So for this alone, I'm just going to open the deployment server and name it. So because we'll be working with that. All right, let me log in. Admin and welcome 90. So let me, as always, I'm going to give it a name so I know which one I am on at every time. My deployment server, let me make it orange. I think that's the only thing remaining. And I call it deploy_server. Just moment so I don't, yeah, deployment_server. All right, that should be fine. Now for this, when it comes to the universal folder, I used to think, oh, it's actually very, very easy. Because for you to do that, you just have to get a script. Now for the deployment server, set up your, do this in your universal folder. That is going to be the IP address. Here is the IP for the instance you want to use as your deployment server. Here, when this was, of course, when I configured the first one. So this is actually what we need to post on each of the universal folders. And like I pointed out here, this deploy poll is going to be the IP address of the instance you want to choose to be your deployment server. I remember I said last week, if it's going to be that your nodes are lesser than 50, you could use any of the instances, either deployer, cluster master, to run as your deployment server. But if in the workplace, of course, they are going to have as many as 100 universal folders, then you will have to have a separate instance as your deployment server. So I'm just going to get the IP address of my deployment server. I created it separate just for us to experiment it. But normally I could have used any of them to do it. So let me go back to this. And so on my deploy pool server, I'm going to change this. I guess that's the only thing I'm changing. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this. This command can as well be something as easy as this. That is if I am going into the bin to do it. So it could be something like this. Deploy pool. Yeah, it could be as easy as this. Okay. All right. But since I'm not doing it from the bin, I can as well just copy this on each of my universal folders. Let me see. This is my deploy server. This is my UF1. So clear. I'm just going to paste that here. Good evening. Yeah. Configuration updated. I'm going to come here, do the same thing, and paste it again, the same thing, because they are trying to link to one place. Oops. Paste again, and that is it. The configuration for our deployment servers and our universal folders is done actually. So if I go back to my, and just for us to note down, what I just did is going to create something inside our local. Let's check that out. cd/opt/Splunk forwarder/etc/system/local. Yeah. So if I list -ma, see what this is going to create this. So if I should cut deployment client, this is it. So if I didn't want to do this, I could as well VI, when I get into the local, I'll just do VI deployment client.conf. Please, this is, the name must be the same, just like server and outputs.conf. Then I'm just going to paste this thing inside it. Target broker deployment server, target URI, the IP address of my deployment server. That is all. This thing is in 3 of them. Now, if I go to the front end for us to confirm, I go to my front end. This is my deployment server. And sorry, first thing in my deployment server, I also have to give it a license. The universal forwarders don't need a license, but if I should have a separate deployment server, then it should have a license. So let me go ahead and connect it to the same license I'm using, change to slave. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the others. I'm going to come here, get the IP address of my hoster master, yes. And I'm going to press that, and I'm going to do 8089. And that is that for that. Chicken out. I'm going to restart. Okay. So while that is restarting, yeah. All right, so let's check that out. Welcome, 90. So we can as well check our license just to make sure it's there. It should be there. Yeah, we are good. So next thing is we're going to, under distributed environment, we're going to folder management, and automatically we should see our clients are, oh wow, what's going on? What's going on? So what should I do next? What's going on? Why didn't I get it? All right, so let's restart. Let's restart each of our folders. OPT Splunk folder. I'm going to my bin. I'm going to my Splunk, and I'm restarting. This is my universal folder 3. So let me do the same thing for universal folder 2. Restarting is always very important. OPT Splunk folder bin / bin. Am I going to Splunk and restart? It should work fine. And let's do the same thing. OPT, yeah, / OPT Splunk folder bin Splunk restart. Yep, we got this. All right, for my deploy server, let me just go ahead and clear. And just for sake, I can go ahead and restart it. So before we go back to check it out, it should be phoning home after now. All right, so let's go back and check. Let's go back and check. I'm going to log in again. If everything is fine, then this doesn't require much thing to be set up. It should be phoning home right now. Whoa, what's going on? Is there something I'm not doing right? Is there something I'm not doing right? Who's going to help me out?
Go back. Okay, let me see. But, let me see. You've already set it as a deployment server, right?
So you said,
And you've already configured the deployment server, right?
what do I need to configure the deployment server?
So on the I know on the universal forwarders, you have to set the poll
I have to do
to the you have to set the set deploy poll to and then whichever instance you're gonna use as the deployment server, you're gonna point it to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not just check the address of the deployment server you have in if it's
Yeah,
correct?
that's what I'm trying to do right now. Where am I going to? etc Splunk, etc system, and I'm going into the local. And I'm going to do ls-la. Okay, let me add this. It's still the same thing. The same thing.
One second.
There's something off.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you pull your documentation, because I'm at work, so I can't get to find.
Okay.
It says running this will create the status. Okay.
Okay, let me just go ahead and create the app and see what happens. Let's just do that. Try that out. I remember the last time. Okay. Where is this? I don't. I did before. Let me just confirm this also. Yeah, 916. So how this is working? 916. Yeah, so this is fine. All right, so let me
Amara,
yes, sir.
why not even check your deployment server if that deployment client file is even there at all, since you did it from the universal forwarders?
You want me to go where, sir?
Go to the server.conf on the,
Okay.
or is it the local of the deployment server, and see if the deployment client.conf is even there. Isn't there a way it's supposed to? It doesn't have.
Take the server.conf.
Okay, hold on, let me see something here. This thing can run you crazy.
Okay, you have the license. Is that the last thing there? Let me see. I think I can pull up my documentation.
Okay. Let's just try and let's go to deployment apps and try to push and see if it's going to meet up with them first. Let's do that and see if that we. So I'm going to etc. I'm going to deployment apps, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see.
Here, if I do ls-la, readme, nothing is inside. I can as well go ahead and make a directory and call it output on the folder,
Oh yeah.
output underscore folder. Yeah, this is a directory, remember. All right.
Yeah,
Now,
I think you need to create that first before you can see it on the back end. I mean on the front end.
yeah.
The deployment apps, yeah.
Yes, sir. So we have to now I've seeded into output underscore folder. Now the next thing I have to do is make another directory called a local. And Now vi into output.conf. All right, now I think we have the output.conf of our forwarders. Yeah, so TCP out is dev, TCP out again is dev. Now our servers should also be the IP addresses of our, so let me just do this. Let's just do this. All right. So let me just copy just this last stanza and copy. I'm going to change that here, but it should be the same thing. And change. Okay, the other one have HTTPS. All right, so let me paste that. All right, so this is the what I should have inside my universal forwarder. So right in here, I'm going to paste it. Okay, I'm going to escape WQ and save it. Save it. I can cut just to confirm. Yeah, I have it. And the next thing I have to do is deploy this now to my universal forwarders. And we have a command to do that. So I'm going to go back to my deployment.
Reload deploy.
Yeah. So this is exactly what I need. So I can go into my bin and just run this, or yeah. Let's copy that. I'm going to come back here. And I can just make it a straight. Let me just do it a straight then. OPT, Splunk. Then going into bin, Splunk. And then I'm going to say, I want to reload. I want to make sure reload, deploy server. Reload, deploy a server. I can as well go ahead and do the authentication here at once. My authentication is admin and welcome 90. So, okay, reloading server classes. Now, okay. So if I go into my, what's it called? My universal folder. So if I go into my universal folder, where am I right now? I am inside the Splunk folder, etc system local, but this is not exactly where I'm going to see the same thing that was pushed. So if I want to see the same thing that was pushed, I have to go cd into opt Splunk folder, and I'm going to etc, and I'm going now into apps, I should believe. Yeah, ls-la. It's not here. Then something is wrong. Yeah. Who can remind me what is wrong? Who can remind me what is wrong? Let me see how many of us still remember. Who can remind me what is wrong? Why is it not saying it? Anybody? Anybody? Why is it not saying it? Now our clients are here, and right now I have one app. But because I have not really given this app to any of the clients, it's not picking it from the back end. So that is why server classes are very important. Now I need to use my server class and say, okay, I want this particular universal folder to have this app. I want this to have this. I want this to have this. That is exactly the work of the server classes. And in a case where you want three of them to have, you can just use it to push. So I think that is fine. The next thing we need to do now is to create our input.conf and also push it. To create our input.conf and push it. But before we create our input.conf, I think let's try and create in some file from the assignment secrepo.conf. So I have this CP. So this was what I was asking. I think was it Mr. Joseph? So I mean, whenever I try to download mine, it's always zipped. I was asking if it was zipped in yours, in anybody's own, or it's just downloaded straight.
Mine was zipped too.
Yours was zipped. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Whoa, please hold on. Is that how to upload it?
No, I'm not uploading it yet though. I did not upload it yet. I just tried to zip it, unzip it rather, extract it rather. But let me just go directly here in case so that I think, see, this is it now. Basically, I could have come here and say, oh, I want to unzip it from here and do extract to this dhcp.log. It's still going to be this. Look at it here. So let me just go ahead and delete this so it doesn't come 2 times. So it just depends on whichever one you decide to do, sir. So if I
What I was doing, I was opening it. I was double clicking on it to copy.
yeah, it's still the same thing. I just opened it up, sir.
Oh, so basically what we have to do is just copy it and paste it into the log, the var log on the oh, that's it. I thought there was a way to do it other than that.
Yeah, this is the same thing. So I guess we'll have to come here. So in here, I want us to do the same, create it on the root. So let me go ahead, exit. If I want to exit now, pwd, and who am I? I am the root. Now I can go ahead and cd into var.log. Yeah, I believe ls-la. This is what I have here. So next thing I have to do is, oh God, next thing I have to do is, this thing should actually come in processes. I just remembered I should have created indexes, but then let's just go and finish up this and then we'll go back and create the indexes. So let me just do a make a directory and I call it dhcp. Yeah. So I'm going to cd into the dhcp. And now inside here, ls, of course, -la, nothing is inside here. I can just say, okay, vi into dhcp.log. Yeah, hit enter. So all I have to do is go back here and I can as well copy any of this, depending on the number I want. Let's just stop here, copy this, come back here and I paste it. So technically this is what I have, escape and save it. So if I do pwd, so this is the path I'm going to be monitoring. This is one of the paths I'm going to be monitoring. So next thing I have to do is, before we continue, let me quickly go back to my indexers first, or my cluster master first. So here in my cluster master, I need to create an indexer that I will need to push to this clusters, the indexers. Where am I? pwd, I'm in the system local, but this is not where I need to create it. Anything going to the indexers needs to be created inside the master apps. So I need to cd /opt/splunk etc master apps. This is where I need to go. Now, if I do ls-la, I'm going into this. So I can as well recall my command, just so we remember that we can as well do the absolute part. Now, if I do ls-la here, this is what I have. Now, inside here, I'll be going inside the local. So if I check inside the defaults now, you see that those indexes that the default indexes will be in here. Actually, let's check that out. So let me, I don't want to cd into it directly. So let me do ls-la of defaults. Let's see if it picks that up. See, I have my indexes.conf. If I cut into these indexes, actually, let's cut it into it. So I don't want to go into it directly. And I'm doing index6.conf. So you see in here now, I have all these underscore internal. I have also all these things are the indexes that we have, that I was able to search. When I search for underscore internal, this is it. This is where they are saved. And we're not to make any changes here. Now I can just say, okay, let me copy one of these. And then where am I presently? Let me clear. And where am I? PWD cluster, but I need to go into the local. Now I have to cd into the local. Now inside the local, since I am pushing this, I can as well go ahead and do indexes, create indexes.conf in here. Oh, I can say, okay, let me make a directory. Have anybody tried to do it directly? I mean, just doing vi inside indexes.conf here. Has anybody tried it? Has anybody tried it before, please?
Wait, tried what?
I mean, just doing indexes.conf directly when you are here inside the local. Or do you always have to create a folder?
I mean, usually I have to create. I don't. Wait, hold. Let me see where you are.
I create mine directly inside the local.
Okay, you normally create yours directly inside the local.
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't hurt. I don't think it will also hurt if we decide to.
Yeah, I think you can do either or.
Yeah.
You're trying to create an index directory or a file.
Create indexes underscore app, kinda. Then cd
In this,
yeah.
in the system local. Oh no, in the cluster local.
Yeah, the cluster.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So you can actually do it either way, but let's do it this way. And I cd into indexes. Let's just try. And now inside my indexes underscore app, if I do ls-la, of course, nothing is inside. Now I can go ahead and do indexes.conf. And I'm going to paste what I copied from the other one. Now, can somebody remind me, please, what I need? I want to change the underscore metrics to DHCP. Can somebody remind me?
Percentage.
Okay.
Yes.
S.
Slash.
/
Underscore metrics. Slash. DHCP.
Go ahead
Now you
and yeah, you don't really need a GC for
you don't
that,
need a G.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually the normal command. So sometimes we just have to use it. So make sure that there is no issue. So yeah, guys, we can save this and cut it if we want. Indexes.conf. Actually, let me do something else. ls default cd dot cd dot okay, ls Access. Yeah, just wanted to confirm the name because it's very important also. All right, so next thing we have to do is push it out to the indexers, and there is a command for that. I should have it in here. Yeah. So copy that, go back here, and I can decide to cd into the bin, opt Splunk bin, and run that. All right, cluster bundle. Yeah, yes. All right. Okay, now I'm going to clear. I can as well go ahead and say, I want to show bundle. Copy. Cluster, show cluster bundle status. Okay. All right, so this is it. Restart not required, and success. They are all up already. Okay, so I can go ahead and clear. So that means if I go into my indexes and I decide to go into PWD, I am inside the local, but no, if I want to check out if what I push is here, I have to go into Splunk etc apps. Sorry, slave apps. That is where to check. So if I do ls-la, and then I have to cd into my underscore cluster and ls, I have it here. So if I go ahead and say cd into local and ls-la, I have my indexes underscore app. Remember, I created it as in, and if I cut now, for us to confirm, we can go to any of our indexes. Let's confirm if this took place. This should be here. So on my indexes, I can just go, you see, settings, go to indexes and confirm. This is a way to check if, no, it's not here. What happened? Inside in mass slave. Okay.
Don't
So
we typically create like a blank index with the same name? You know, I think that was something that Mr. Rotimi mentioned a while back.
sorry, I didn't get that, sir.
Said, don't we typically create a blank index with the same name so that there's some kind of link between the front end and the back end? Because sometimes it doesn't work the way we want it to. So by creating that blank index, the front end has an opportunity to link, you know, with the back end so that when you search for it, you'll be able to find the data in that particular index.
Are you talking about on the search head, sir, or here?
Yes, you went to the section on the graphic user interface to find.
No, what I'm trying to, you know, when you create it here, you should actually come in here.
Have you created it? Have you
Yeah.
created it on your
Yeah, that's what
deploy
I'm
account?
saying.
So push it.
No, once you create it on the index at first, it should be here before it even shows on the
Well,
search.
is it? I don't know. Is it because you created a separate folder in the local first before you did
That is
indexes.conf?
what I'm thinking. So
Because
that is,
I create my indexes.conf straight into the local when
yeah, that is why.
It's same here.
Sir?
Yeah, I think that is the problem. I think that is the problem, Amara.
So let's
That-
just check and see if that is. Then if it's not, then we know we
Yeah.
could do it either way.
But you know, regardless, anytime we create indexes in the indexes.conf, you know, file, it doesn't always show up. So what Mr. Rotimi typically do on the front end is he would create an index on the front end with the same name.
No, that
So
is for
that
the search. That I think that it does that on the search head also.
on the
So when
search
we're
it. Oh,
searching,
okay.
when we're searching, it can automatically like populate, like when you're typing.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's a directory you created. I mean, because you created a directory. Because I did mine this way, and it works.
Okay, we're just trying to see
Same
what
thing.
is the issue.
Mm.
Maybe you should push it to the sachets first on your deployer and see what happens.
Well,
I don't know.
I think there are certain inconsistencies with this, because I remember doing just exactly what Amara did, and I could not get any results from like just what is happening presently. And I had to go and remove the folder. And that was when I started doing VIing into the local directly.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and create it here and push it first, and we check that again. SH cluster. Sorry, it's a first. So let's just do that, and before we remove it. So inside my SH cluster, I should go into the apps here. All right, ls-la. So I have my outputs underscore app here. And did I see that? Yeah, it's here. All right, so let me go back to my deployer. So inside my deployer, I'm going to CD, and I'm creating, what am I creating? Indexes. Let me do the same thing actually. Index 6 underscore app. Sorry, I have to make directory first. Index 6 underscore app. And it could be any name and name here though. So I can now recall my command, and here in indexes underscore app, should I go ahead and just create the index
Your
via,
local,
okay, I think I
your
should
local directly.
okay, let me do that. So make directory and local, and next thing I have to do is,
I'm sorry, I didn't create a directory. I created a directory for deployer, not for cluster master.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
just checked
suspecting
now.
that's the issue here, but we'll remove that later. Let's just do
Okay.
this cd local, and I'm going to vi, yeah, my head, vi into my indexes dot conf, hit enter. Now I guess I am going to go back in here. Actually, before I remove this, let me cut, where am I? I'm inside the local, cut indexes, and I'm going into the local. Is there a local here? I thought there's a local here. CD indexes ls. Oh wow. Okay. So now I'm going to cut this and then just copy it. So I'm going to copy the same thing I have here minus the last one. So I'm just going to copy this, and I'm going to come into my deploy. Where's my deployer? Yeah, inside here, and I'm going to paste it and escape, double kill, save it. And the next thing is for me to push, right? Now for me to push it, I have to go, let me get this is it. I have to go let me actually sit into the bin and do this one. So it's a bit faster. cd/opt/splunk/bin, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this. Y and That should push. So now let's just go to our sachet and see if it's registered. So if I'm doing index is equal to D, now is on my search head. But then if I still go back to my, what's it called? My indexer, it's still not here. So I think we didn't need to create that a directory. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to my Splunk here. I'm going to cd dot dot and pwd. This is where I am now. If I do ls-la, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. Let me remove it, repush it, and then, so I'm going to remove -ref indexes. All right, that should be gone. All right, so let me repush it. Right, let me repush it and see what it will tell me. Push it. Sorry, I have to first off, I have to cd/opt/1/bin, and then I'm pasting. Let me see what it tells me. Okay, because there was really nothing. It just so let me clear and let's see if this is still here. Oh, wow, it's still here. Right. So let me cd dot dot ls. Oh, it's still here. Let's repush again. Let's repush /opt/splunk/etc. Now I'm going into the master apps and I'm going into the underscore cluster, hit enter, ls-la. I have my default. So let me ls default, do editor, ls default, right? Okay, I have my indexes of course. So what I think we should do is right inside the local, cd local, we should just go ahead and create our indexes.conf. So let's just follow the same way that we have it and see. So what I'm going to do is come back here and copy this, and push it here. And I'm going to escape. This is why it's always important. Whenever you're doing something, you have to be verifying that it's there. If not, I would have just assumed that this is there and keep working via indexes.conf. And having done that, what next? At indexes.conf. We have the CHCP. Yeah, I believe everything is fine. Okay, next thing is for me to repush this again. So I can as well go cd/opt/splunk/bin and go into my cluster master here, and I'm copying this. I'm pasting it. Why? Yeah. So let me check this out. Okay. Okay. So I'm inside the local, right? Let me ls. This is not working the way I wanted. So opt Splunk. I'm going into etc and I'm going into sleep apps. So let me go ahead and clear. and do ls-la. I'm going into underscore cluster, and I'm going to list it, see what is here. I'm going to set it into my local ls. Now that has taken effect. Now, if I cut my indexes, I should have this. So let's go back and verify. Do we need to restart this? And let's just check. Yeah, so we see. So please, whenever we are creating anything on cluster master under indexes, we don't really need a directory to do that. Now we have our DHCP. Now next thing is, remember, I've created, what am I opening now? So let me go back. Now that means all my indexes have DHCP. So let me go back here. Remember, I created, where's my forwarder? This is my deploy server. Here I created DHCP. Now I want to create a monitor. So let me go back to my deployer. I'll just create this one and then we'll call it a day. All right. So right now, let me clear. And I do PWT. No, this is not where I need to be. I need to get back into the deployment app. So I will do cd dot dot and PWT and do ls-la. Now inside here, I'm going to make a directory and I'm going to call it inputs underscore forwarder. Input underscore forwarder. Next, I have to cd into that. Sorry, please 1 minute. All right, sorry about that. So yeah, I have to now cd into my input. Yeah. I have to cd now into my input. Now, when I get into my input, I'm just going to make a directory and I'm going to call it local here. And I'm going to cd into that local. And once I get into the local, I'm going to vi and inputs.conf. Now, what is my monitor stanza? Let's check out. We can always check our textbooks, our PDF, or even our, should have something. All right, so let's copy this. But remember what I'm monitoring. So let's get that there. Let's get that again. So this is what I'm monitoring. So let me copy that. And I'm going to paste it. I'm going to come in here and say, oh, this is what I want to monitor. Okay, now that is not what I want. So this should be 3 and not 4. Yeah, DHCP. But remember, I'm actually doing DHCP.logs, or we can just do DHCP as there is so that it can always pick it up. Index, my index is going to be DHCP. My access combine, I can just take off this if I'm not so sure of what it should be, and I can just put this. So let's go ahead and paste this inside my monitor and see what we will have at the end of the day. So I'm coming back here and I'm pasting this. Okay, and escape. All right. Now, next thing is for me to push again. Where am I? Deploy server. Okay, so let's just go ahead and push again. We have our deploy reload. So reload, technically we are going to reload. So I need to get back into my bin. I can just do opt Splunk. I'm going into bin and I'm saying Splunk again and reload deploy server. My username, oh, I forgot to do alt here. So admin and my welcome 90. All right, reloading server classes. Now this is done. Next thing I have to do is now go back to my folder. If I should reload, I should. Okay. I think they're reloading. So they should be picking up one after the other. One client is coming, two clients, and the third one. What's happening to the third one? Come on, come on, come on, come on. So let's check that out.
I think the third one is caught in Oshodi traffic or something.
I hope not, because the traffic would definitely hold it down. So let's check that again anyway. Actually, the traffic is nothing to play about. Yeah, released. Okay, we have our 2 apps. We have our 3 clients. Now I want to create a server class. Remember, I can decide the input forwarder I have here. I can just say, okay, I want it to have, I just one of them to have it. I can say, oh, I want the output. Okay, let's do this. Let me create one, and I'm going to call it _underscore servers. Yeah, save it. I can just say, you haven't added any apps. I can just say, okay, in here, I want every of you to have output underscore forwarder, and I save it. Now that means all of them have output underscore forwarder. All of them are going to be sending their apps to the, what's it called, indexer. I can say, oh, I haven't created any clients. I want all of them to have it. So technically what I have to do is here, I'm going to do UF. I can just do UF on asterisk. It should be able to pick it. I can preview. See, selected all of them, and I go ahead and save it. Now, again, I have one server class called all servers. So all the servers have output underscore forwarders. They are sending their logs. I can now say, okay, I want to create, oh, sorry, I made a mistake now. Okay, let me go back to in here. All servers, let me go ahead and edit it. Edit the apps that is inside it. This is what I have. Go ahead and still save it. This is what I still want it to be. I can just say, I want to okay. So all 3 of them have output underscore forward. All 3 of them have that. Let's note that down. So I can just say, okay, so the server classes, I want to create a new one. And then I can just call it DHCP server. I can just say, oh, I want just, remember right now, all of them have output, all of them have outputs. Maybe I just want one of them to have just the DHCP alone. So I can say I want just the input underscore forwarder to be here. If I just created this to be the DHCP, assuming I created, remember, inside this input does underscore forwarder, what is inside it is DHCP. I could have named this DHCP underscore forwarder, and then subsequently I can name others. I'm just trying to tell us now the server class is what we can use it to do. Now, right here, I'm saying for this, I want just the input underscore forwarder to be here. And I can say, oh, for this, I want just maybe, which of them did I create that inside? Let's just check that out. Which of them did I create that? That should be my forwarder one. I could just say for this one, I want just the UF1 to have it. I want just my UF1 to have it. I can go ahead and save it. I could have previewed actually. Now that means here my UF1 have both outputs because it got that from the all server class. And now it also have an input that is monitoring a log that is known as DHCP. So I'm just trying to let us understand what major work of DHCP is, of server class is. So I can go ahead and save it. So now I have two server classes. One is for all of them. One is for the one monitoring just the DHCP that is in the this thing. So I think that should be fine. I don't know. It can be crazy sometimes, but then let's see. Let me just confirm something here. Show all settings. Sure. If I go back to my setting and I check my indexes, I want to say something. Okay, it's here. Yeah. Please. So let's go ahead and just try. I think, is there anything we didn't do so far? So let's just go ahead and try. No harm. No harm. Instead we debug. Okay, so let's go ahead and search for index is equal to DHCP. I'm going to search it for like last 15 minutes. And I pray it comes up. Just keep. Okay. So let me go ahead and try to restart the indexes /opt/ folder /bin and restart. So restart this just for restarting sake. Just see if I can get it. Seven.
Seven. Okay.
No, let's try something. Let's try something here. cd/opt/Splunk, and I'm going into the etc and I'm going into the apps here. /la. Now I have input dot. You can see I have inputs here. cd inputs. ls-la. So cd local ls-la cat inputs DHCP. And what is the name of that log segment that we created? cd DHCP, now vi DHCP.log, DHCP, yeah. So this should be fine. So we are monitoring the logs inside DHCP. Yeah, anything inside the DHCP. Okay. And now if we check this, we should check this cd/opt/splunk folder. I'm going to etc and I'm going into apps. If I should check this, you see, this doesn't have inputs. So this one is not getting the inputs technically because I did not give it through the server.conf. I did not give it to the server. So the only one having it right now is this, which technically is where I created my. So this should work, and guess I should just did I restart now? So should be able to work. It should be able to work. So try that time. I just have to give it some time, but this should work. And actually, let me run something. I don't think we did this, but let's try. Index is import underscore time internal. Let's run last 15 minutes and see how many is still getting. So yeah, it's not in our universal folder. So technically something is wrong somewhere. And if you can't get to our universal folder, then technically it's not pushing out anything to it. So I think the deployment, that is what we need to verify right away. So let's go check out our outputs.conf. So if you're sure your input.conf is very, very okay, now it should make sense that we check our output.conf. Where am I folder input local? So I have to cd /. Clear. And then I'm doing what am I doing? I'm doing pwd, and then I'm doing ls-la, and then cd into outputs underscore folder, and I'm doing ls-la. I have my local. Wait, what happened? Okay, cd into the local. cd into the local ls. Okay, so let me move outputs. So let me move the local. So I'm going to move my local, sorry, my outputs.conf. I'm going to move it into,
Why is it not inside the local?
I don't know. I thought I created it. I can't even, I'm not even sure if I created it, but I think I did create it. I don't know why it's not suddenly inside there. All right, output underscore folder, and I want it to move into the local. All right, so if I do ls now, I have just my local. If I do cd into the local, I have my ls. So cat output TCP out default group is equal to dev user is equal to true TCP out is equal to dev again. And these IP addresses should be right. We have 119, we have 119, 222, and 175. 119, 222, 222, 175. Yeah, so this should be fine. This should be fine. So let me refresh this again. And reload it. It should be fine. And I'm going to see the OPT this here slash OPT and reload deploy app, and I'm going to do hit enter. This one, I'm inside the local, so let me do cd dot again, ls dash la, and I want to go into my cd output, and I want to list it. I want to cd into actually cat local slash.
No, CD.
I want to cut it directly. Yeah, everything should be fine. Everything should be fine. So let me go ahead and restart it again. Slash apt slash Splunk folder, then Splunk start. So this practically is the only one that have both inputs and outputs. Others only have outputs.
Is that your universal forwarder?
Yes, this is my universal folder. Universal folder one.
Okay.
Yeah. So yep. Okay. So here now, let me try again. Where's my search? It's still not saying it. And technically, if it's not saying it, I need to confirm why it's not saying this. I believe the input.conf is fine, but I think the output.conf, I don't know why it's not picking this from here. Let me try again, last 15 minutes. I have my search outs, my indexes, cluster master, deployer, but it's not just saying my universal form of orders, and automatically if it's not saying it, then it's not pushing anything to it. So I guess it's just something I have to work on, and I'll check out again tomorrow. I think we need to really end it here today, but technically if I'm just going to confirm, check out my output.conf, that is, I believe that is where the issue is, because right now it's really not seeing it here. Really not seeing it, and it should be able to see it because all of them have output.gov. So I'm just going to check why is not seeing it. So that's the debugging I'm going to do, and if I should solve it, I believe my input, the DHCP should be showing. So please, in case for those of us not seeing data, go ahead and confirm if you can actually see your universal forwarders here. If you can see them, then you can try to check again your input.gov and check which one you are giving it to. Maybe you should give it to the one where you actually created the file on, and let's see what happens after that. I guess we're going to close the class for today. That is technically everything about the clustering. And for the service now, if for those of us that have not been able to do that, so for the service now, all I have to do now is sign into my service now account. Sign into my service now account. If I should sign, don't require phone number. And so okay, for this one I need to verify they send something to my mail, so let me just check that out. 318 423 verify. And for this one, actually, I'm going to be doing it on my deployer, because technically for those of us that have been able to make research on the add-on we are asked to download, we're not meant to download it. We're not meant to download it on the, we're not meant to download it on the universal forwarder. So that is that. So for this one, if I want to do it, I have to do it in from here. So let's say I come to apps, go to manage apps, and browse more apps. So I'm just going to search for service now. Search for service now here. This is, I think, add-on for service now. Yeah, that should be it. So I'm going to play. So now I've installed it on my deployer. I can go ahead and open the app. I can go ahead and open the app. So, and this app now will be technically on the deployer. It will be on the deployer. Now for here, I am, wait, let me see, developer program. I have to come back here first and set up incidents. Just wanted us to see if we can finish this up and we're good to go. Okay, so breaking up my instances. So why is breaking up my instances? Let me just quickly go back to my back end, and on my deployer, yep, session 3, session 1, my deployer. So here on my deployer, if I should do cd /opt/splunk etc, I think it should be under the apps, if I'm not mistaken. So ls-la. So this is it here. So this is it here. I can just copy it, cp. I believe that's it. cp. Can just copy it recursively. And I'm going to be pushing it into the where I have to go to put the indexers. Can somebody give me the paths, please? Somebody help me with the paths. If I want to move this up now, can somebody give me the place I have to go? All right, so I've just copied this because I wanted to move it to the sachets. So if I go into the, let me see, okay. If I go into CD, I CD into this place, I should be able to say it. ls-la. Now this is it here. From TS now. And CD back in here and check. Okay, so that's it basically. All I have to do. Okay, let me see if this is, I'm still waking up. So they will be done. So let me go to my configuration. I'm just going to add required has to be enter a unique name. We can call it anything. Service. This required. This one should be from here. So assuming this is up, I should have gone into my the admin session of it and create an incident. Then copy this and paste it there. But that should have, okay, thank you, Zab. Okay, well, that's that about that. I think we are going to just end here for today. This is taking time and used, okay, I'm inside my app already. So all of my incidents here, you can just go ahead and add me, create new. And just go ahead, show discussion. Yeah. There's a submit. You can just come back here, copy this. Copy this and go back to my configuration. Paste it here. Basic, I can leave it here. So basically it's going to ask me my username and admin of my password. So here actually I can get it from here. Let's see, yeah, from here. And see, manage instance password. This is my password here. I can just copy that and go back here and paste it. And that's all. Add. Oh, wow. I think I should have it here. So let me just check it and copy it straight up. Okay. So try again. All right, we're good. So done this, I can just go ahead and create my import. Now, I think that should be, this is the one I'm going to be monitoring. So index, so you can just go ahead and edit it. Incident selected value. I'm going to call it service, the same one I created the other time. Okay, optional. You can just leave it as this. Remember, I could have created an index and changed it here. Yeah, so you could come back here. Just try to deploy it. I don't think I've done that yet. So let me do that one. So let's see if this is going to box over here. CD opt Splunk bin. So paste it.
Deployer.
Yes, sir. Okay. So let me just go ahead and try. See if we're going to get results. I'm going to go back to my search thread and I'm going to say, so sometimes this one also take, before I go continue, let me see if my DHCP is going to get something now. It's telling me, oh yeah, I can still see my index, I can still see my output.gov, so I'm just going to go work on that and check that out. So I'm trying, let's see if it's going to get us something. Yeah, so this worked. So this is the thing I have in my service now from this. So yeah, so that is that one for the service now. And yeah, so I'm just going to go. The major reason why this is not being picked is because I believe my output. Actually, I'm thinking of maybe, just maybe, we don't need to create another folder inside it. So that's actually what I'm going to go to try now.
Amara,
Yes, sir.
please, can I make a suggestion?
Okay.
Because you see, I experienced this for a long time. But then, can you put a different content inside that log and then search?
Okay.
Yeah,
Please,
and
if
I think the issue is like sometimes I think the log is like
you
too.
can just do it, then we'll see.
The problem
Just
is
copy.
I can't even see my universal folder. That's what I'm saying. So if I can't see my universal
With
folder,
that one, I had the same issue. I just went to like do the output on individual, like the individual folders, and I started seeing the logs.
yeah, so what I think I should do is I might have to edit the output.gov, and I want to, just like we did for the cluster master, I might want to remove them. Actually, maybe we can just work that out tomorrow. I'm going to definitely check them out because our time is fast spent already. We need to end the meeting already. So we're just going to do that, but that is the main thing for now. That is the main thing. Until I see that my folders are here, I will say that is the main thing because I believe the input.gov should be fine. So let's just end it here for today. I think we are good with what we did. I think the major aim was to try to get this in one video. So we're going to end it here so it doesn't exceed the hour we should have it. So now we'll meet again tomorrow. So thank you all for being here. So please, you can just put down your questions. Maybe when we meet tomorrow, we go over them, please. Thank you.
Yeah, please, there is a question I've asked on the chat. Oh, because
And
we've been working on clustered environment. I am just wondering, in a non-clustered environment, where is the indexes saved if we have indexers?
I'm going to paste it on the on our prep class. Let's tackle it tomorrow, please, sir. You can even search it.
Okay,
We all can just go and research on it, and then when we meet tomorrow, we'll discuss extensively on that. Okay, sir. All right.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Good night. And good afternoon.
Thank you, Amara.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Ms. Marachi. You did great. Thank you.
Thank you, Amara. Thank you.